Dial. Also online at theticketfm.com.
On the internet.
KNTK FM Firth. 93.7 The Ticket.
At Planet Fitness, we're declaring it. This is the year of getting stronger. And future stronger you can get started now by saving $28 or more when you join today. You in? We have all the best-in-class equipment you could ever need to keep stepping it up. And you can work out your way on your time at any convenient location near you. Most open 24 hours. So let's do this. Join Planet Fitness today and save $28 or more. Just $1 down, $15 a month, cancel anytime. Deal ends January 31st. See Home Club for details.
Are you ready for a new opportunity? Check out Sandhills Global. Join a dynamic team where your skills are valued and your career can soar. We offer full-time positions with a 4.5-day work week, competitive pay, excellent benefits, and a positive work environment. From IT and marketing to sales and finance, we're looking for talented individuals just like you. Apply today at sandhills.jobs and take the first step towards an exciting future. That's sandhills.jobs. Don't wait, apply now.
Outside is where winter adventure unfolds. On frozen lakes, icy landscapes, and snow-covered slopes. Feeling the cold air rush by as you race downhill. The freedom of gliding with ease and the warmth of being together. From epic sled rides to the fun of ice fishing, it's all right here beneath Nebraska skies. Start your winter adventure at yournebraskaparks.com. Sponsored by Nebraska Game and Parks, aired with the Nebraska Broadcasters Associations and this station.
Early break.
Kevin says, the old days were absolutely not better times. Lots of hardships. Life in 2025 is better than ever. Oh, I love when we get these jokes back. I love good joke. I love the joke. You're good. Good work, Kevin. You're hilarious, Kevin. You keep it up.
Early break from 6 to 8 every weekday morning on 93.7 The Ticket.
93.7 The Ticket is proud to provide listeners with daily opportunities to win contests and prizes on our airwaves, and would like to take this opportunity to remind you of a couple rules. All participants must be 21 or older and must wait 30 days after winning a prize before participating in another contest. Once you win, you have 30 days to pick up your prize at the KNTK Studios, 1040 O Street in Lincoln, or your prize will be forfeit. Thank you for participating in our contest, and thank you for listening to 93.7 The Ticket.
This is the Don't Punt Hour with former Nebraska receiver.
Throwing over the middle, completes the pass. He's got speed to the end zone. Touchdown! 45 yards.
And return specialist.
This time he beats the kicker and one more.
DeMornay Pierson-El.
Not only does the sideline have confidence in Pierson-El, but Pierson-El has confidence in Pierson-El.
On 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com. Powered by the Teammates Mentoring Program.
All right, welcome into the Don't Punt Hour. Harrison Arns on the ones and twos. As always, we got DeMornay Pierson-El, the host of the show, streaming in 402-464-5685. That is the Starter Heyman text line. You guys are always welcome to join in. Just wrapped up with Outside the Box, talking some Lincoln Stars hockey. I encourage you guys to go check them out. They're having a great season right now, and they're getting really close to having that sellout. Joel Norman mentioned the last one was 2019, and they were about a few hundred away this weekend. And obviously, really since COVID, all sports took a hit, but they are getting back to that. It would be nice to get that place sold out. As I said, they do got plenty more games left on the ice, but before you know it, it'll be spring, and you'll run out of that opportunity. Let's go ahead and bring him in. DeMornay Pierson-El. It's even nicer out today than it was yesterday. How's it going on a Tuesday night?
It's going well for a Tuesday.
Yeah, I don't think the high was like 56. Incredible. I'm not going to complain.
Makes you kind of want to be outside, you know?
Yeah, I can't believe the SEC traded, nice weather. It's bizarre. What happened this year? The Big Ten was the better conference, and we got less snow than the SEC. Something dramatic shifted in the universe to where they
Mother Nature, global warming.
Yeah, maybe that's what it is. Maybe I just wasn't paying attention all along. That's what global warming.
It was the helium balloons, we weren't releasing the balloons as much this year, so it got
full circle. That's exactly, it makes sense. Real quick, I do want to mention this because I forgot to add it to the notes I sent you. I'm curious though, Savannah Banana Ball. Are you familiar with it?
No.
Okay, so it's out there in Savannah, Georgia. You can kind of put it to a Harlem Globetrotters of baseball. Our guy, Cal Perry, is now down there with Savannah Bananas and trying to get the Bananas down here to play Memorial Stadium. And I know you're not super familiar, but they do it's a sellout crowd down there in Savannah, Georgia. The wait list is massive. They did something in Clemson already in the summer. Think that'd work up here in Memorial Stadium, especially having the former pitcher from Nebraska be on that roster?
Yeah, I think it would sell. I mean, it's something new, and you know how anything new, the new shiny toy. I think a lot of people, would come out with that anticipation. People are looking if it's advertised right. If he is on and everything like that. Him sending a message out to Nebraska. I'm pretty sure the Nebraska their social medias would repost it. So I mean, it could definitely generate some things. So I think so.
Yeah, it'd be cool. I don't know. Like, I'm not the biggest baseball guy, so go ahead and call up Empire Fence and Netting to see what it looks like to set that up at Memorial Stadium. I'm not sure. It seems like a smaller stadium just because the boundaries are really tight. Maybe it works in there. But if it does, be fantastic. I do think things in Nebraska just sell well.
They switching the grass, so I mean, we'll see. I don't know.
Yeah, that's the other part as well. You're also switching the grass up there, but it's really cool. I hope it happens. Kyle Perry obviously pushing that out a lot. It'd be cool to see him back here in Lincoln, repping not only the Huskers but now the Savannah Bananas as well. And it's very entertaining. I recommend for any of those guys. A little bit different than what they do, but some of the stuff they do is pretty insane. It's a lot of like backflips on the outfield catch, like just crazy stunts in the middle of baseball play, and add some extra entertainment to it. All right, that's enough on that. I'm going to keep mentioning that though. Hopefully, people keep hearing enough, and Troy Dannon's like, let's get KP back in Lincoln for some Savannah Banana Ball. Let's talk about coaches in the NFL, and I kind of want to just grade these. We'll start. Give me which team you want to start with. New coach hires.
Cowboys. Get it out the way.
Schottenheimer.
F. No, I think there's potential. I think D plus. He's a hardworking man. Regardless, he's been around in the NFL for a lot of years, and he might have just never got his shot. I'm gonna be positive. I'll give him a D.
Yeah, that's where I was gonna go. D. I'm not gonna go F. Anything in house, I don't give an F just because I'm like it's not a complete wildfire. Like you're just throwing it out there to see what happens. Like you have some familiarity with them, so it's not like you either dragged your feet and the good hires got away, or this is actually kind of someone who secretly you have been bringing along this process that you're hoping. Yeah, I think D's about as high as I could go. Is there anybody else you'd rather have for the Cowboys though? Like if you were Jerry Jones,
the thing about that one is there's both sides have to agree to want that. So I don't know if there's other coaches out there unless he's probably one of the more experienced candidates that's never been, a head coach. Unless, the Kellen Moore, if he really would have went into that, but I don't think he was taking necessarily that. Just being in that, involved in everything like that, how they went a different direction. Do you really want to go back someplace that, got rid of you for no apparent reason at all in 2 of the 3 years that you did win, 12 games? You were a part of it. It's not like, coach did it himself. So I guess that coach is the best experienced hire, and that can show proof with things, in the NFL. He's been around different eras of football, so he can attest to a lot of things. But I don't know if anybody else would have taken that job.
Yeah, that's the tough part, right? Because
you can interview people, and look at the Jacksonville situation. He told them no, because of X, Y, and Z, and he left. And they changed what they wanted to do. How many of those people would have changed for Jerry when they know Jerry's going to be Jerry? Jerry's the issue. That's just what it is, So I don't know too many people who get the head coaching job and can't do the head coaching job that would like to go there, regardless of the money, regardless of the Cowboys, whatever. It's one big issue, and he's the guy controlling a whole lot. So I don't know who else you get, because people don't want to deal with that.
Yeah, it's one of the few organizations where it's gotten so bad that the scapegoat actually is becoming the owner. Like you have to do a pretty bad job for a long time to where people keep pointing to you. Usually the head coach is
but
always
that's how he wants it.
That's why I'm sure, like, I got to think in my head, Mike McCarthy's happy he didn't get extended, just kind of get to that next chapter, because and here's the other thing. There was a lot of belief. Where were you on this? Deion Sanders to the Cowboys.
Absolutely not.
Right? Because in what world is he working in Jerry's world? There isn't
him
one.
Him and Jerry going to clash, and it's going to be a show. I'll show you how great I am from both sides. I mean, I would pay to see that. I would pay to see that unfold. But probably not leaving that. He getting any and everything he want in college football. He's helping the youth on, and they can say, "Oh, his kids." Now, if he went somewhere, where one of his players was, one of or both of his kids would have been drafted at, I'd have maybe not, but no. Them not having a top position to draft Shador, that's over with.
That's kind of where it landed for me too. It's like, if you're not getting Shador, he's definitely
no.
Yeah, especially what he's saying in the press. Like, he's kind of distanced himself from it already, and then I'm sure it was just one of those things where someone got just enough to make it a headline, but in reality, there's a 2% chance Deion's actually interested in being the Cowboys head coach. Especially that's the way headlines go. I don't think that was ever really far along at all. I'm sure they maybe talked, but for how serious it was, courtesy Deion keeping doors open, like, let's get in the NFL circle, but I don't have to commit. I think that's what happened. And Deion's smart to do it, but definitely also smart not to go ahead and take that job. I think Schottenheimer might actually been the best they can do. Final thing on the Cowboys, obviously the fan base is pissed. Most of the Cowboys fan base, they're not happy about this hire. How dangerous the territory are there? And what's the window on Schottenheimer? Because the fan base is already displeased before
what's the window with Jerry? Jerry don't care about the fans. Clearly he calling reporters talking about he'll fire him and XYZ. You think he care about the fans? No, then why is a hot dog $12 at the stadium? He don't care. It ain't family friendly. You know what I mean? You're not doing what the Atlanta Falcons owner is doing and making affordable for a family of 4 or 3 or whatever to go there. No, he don't care about the fans. It'll go as far as Jerry wants it to go. If it's bad enough to where he has to need a change in 2 years, he will make that change. It's okay, this is bad enough. He's frustrated with certain things and whatnot. He'll make a change, but I think he'll ride that way for at least 2 years.
Yeah, it's gonna be 2 years for sure. I'll give you that. Cowboys 7-10. Worse or better next year? Not especially, Eagles, Commanders are looking really good next year. You got to compete in that division. I'd imagine Schottenheimer year one's going to be a disappointment just because it's going to be less.
They're arguably going to be the worst team in the conference. The Giants are going to get a quarterback.
That's what I'm saying.
It's just a matter of who are they going to get? Are they going to get Justin Fields, the Melton kid, a free agent signing to come in there like Tyrod Taylor kind of did? So they're third or fourth at best in that conference. You're not better than Washington. You're not better than Philly, and you're not too far all. You and the Giants, y'all alternate each week.
Yeah.
So I can see that's reasonable. Dak was hurt. I think that has a lot to do with stuff. But I feel like every other year he gets hurt. So how reliable necessarily is that?
Yeah, you're right. He does get that injury-prone history, and the offense, there's just not a lot of pieces there. I'm a point that's probably going to be worse, or if not the same 7 wins. The name, I could see 7. Yeah, right at it. But it's kind of the way that division setting. Your name's getting reserved at the kids' table at this point. Other teams are jumping ahead of you unless something drastic changes, and I don't think drastic was Schottenheimer. So
no.
Again, I think it's a terrible hire. We talked about the coaches in that division alone, how much better it's getting. Now you're kind of with a coach who's been around. We just don't know, not enough to really feel confident about. Next team, what do you want to talk about here?
We can talk about the Jags because I don't. They're gonna be a blip. It's just get it over with.
Give me the background of Cohn. Their new head coach, Liam Cohn, if that's how you say it, right? Cohn?
I haven't really looked too much like into him. I know he's been around here and there. I know people like talk about him highly and whatnot. But you have, I mean, I don't. Baker maybe just be getting people, jobs or whatnot. I could understand the head coach of Carolina, because it wasn't just Baker. He had like I think 2 or 3 guys back to back that went off and was deserving. So I'm not too sure on the Jacksonville. I'm glad that they got their GM out of there. I think that was probably needed. They hit the reset button, but hopefully you get a guy in there that can get a better product out of Trevor Lawrence. I mean that's their problem. I think Doug got into a certain point, but I mean he can't go out there and play.
Yeah, and they're it's an interesting team because there's a lot of years like you can look at the roster before the season starts and you feel pretty good about it, and then the season rolls around. It's always ETN maybe just can't get it going, injury history, or the offensive line struggling, or you have Trevor Lawrence, he's not playing the same. Is it the Urban Meyer experiment that just sent everything south and they still haven't recovered? Nothing ever just seems to click there.
No.
So with this hire, like to me, it's not even like a bad hire. It's not like great either, but I don't like if you were going to get someone for the Jaguars, you're in the front office, who you going for? Like, is it a new face?
In that conference where you're gonna need a defense to stop, you're gonna need somebody to stop CJ Stroud and them and everything like that. I think Flores would have been a wonderful pick. He would have had your defense right. That gives you a lot more cushion with Trevor. Trevor doesn't have to be, Superman on the offensive side. You can make some actions with ETN and probably trade him off. You got Banks, or you can draft, some pieces. You have Gabe Davis there. You have Christian Kirk coming back off an injury. You got the rookie that went off and had a good year. So there's pieces there. I think you bring a defensive-minded guy that knows and understands what it like.
We got the crowd out here on the ticket studio. Shout out to these guys. Wait a second so they can see themselves on TV here.
You gotta but you gotta
there we go.
You gotta you got a couple people that I think Flores it would have been the best bet, because again, you got him, you got DeMarco, who's a former player, and you see how well they've done. I understand, Flores's history and whatnot, but I mean, I think he definitely deserves another chance. And their division honestly is wide open. Outside of Houston, the Titans got a new coach. You don't really know what they got going on there. They don't have a quarterback situation. And then the Colts, their quarterback situation,
they don't know.
He might be a season away from being, one of the biggest busts, or one of the biggest what ifs. I won't say bust, but he has to.
Which way you leaning on that?
Better. He has to be more consistent. So I mean, number 2 in your division with that division in there, I mean that can get you, that you might can squeak into a playoff game.
I was going to ask you, because I was leaning that same way. Richardson, you kind of mentioned one more year. Which way are we leaning here? You think he's going to make it, or we're getting to a point where the Colts got to move on?
I think it needs to be a drastic change needs to happen with the quarterback situation. You came from Jalen Hurts. You left Jalen Hurts, got back to another Super Bowl, and it's like you're supposed to be the guy that pretty much got that situated. And I'm not putting it all on the coach, because the players have to show up too. Coaches catch a lot of these strays, but I mean, as a pro athlete, you have a job to show up every day and whatnot. And I understand Indianapolis may not be, Vegas, may not be, Miami, or so it ain't much to do. You got one job, get your body right, focus up, come out there, because they got a decent offensive line. Their defense, has been more consistent than their offense. You got some pieces at the wide receiver position, and
you still got JT. Like, you got one of the better running backs.
Exactly. So it's like I don't know why it's not necessarily clicking, but the quarterback room has to be more consistent for that to go further. And I think if it's more of the same, I think they move on. If it's better and it's a middle to a wide margin of like, okay, this is a good jump in for the future, they'll stay.
Yeah, this is tough. I think definitely the move. Richardson's tough because obviously hurt, and then he finally gets there. 2023, really short stint, obvious injury. 2024, 8 touchdowns, 12 interceptions. You're still not like really streaky. They're early in the season, looked pretty good, and then it just got bumpier and bumpier as it went along. Like, and the roster's still good enough to where you're really hurting yourself if you don't figure it out now, because those guys are going to demand more money as they get further along in their career, and you're still not going to have that quarterback situation figured out. So unfortunately for Austin Orman, he works at the ticket. I think his Colts are going to have to make a drastic move at quarterback. Maybe you give it more year. Like, it could just be that he needs more reps, but I do think it's not the same, but you get reps when you're on the sideline long enough. I think that's why guys like Mahomes really excelled, and we're seeing that trend more and more happen with these QBs who watch and then plug in. I don't see
But you say more reps. You've been in the league going on what, 2-3 years? And I mean, you've been watching more than anything. You've been understanding and been meaning more than anything. So
and that counts.
That's what I'm saying. Like, I think the coach has to get more out of the quarterback, and the quarterback has to show up and be consistent. And I don't think without that happening, I don't think, because they kind of started hot and was all playing well, and then it just went left.
Yeah, and I think to me it just comes down to that quarterback situation. And it's a good year to go and figure it out. Or you hope Richardson has a great year and turns it around, because it's still wide open to go. And it's a weak enough division where you can, if you don't win it, Texans win it, you play good enough ball, you're going to get enough wins to go get that wild card.
Yeah.
So that's kind of
depending on how other leagues do. But
yeah.
I mean, if you got really, 2 teams in there, and outside of the Texans, if you run the table with your conference, and who's on your side, honestly, you have a good margin of getting there.
Yeah, especially, because when you go through some of these conferences as well, like, obviously you got to hope a little bit of luck, but those other conferences are going to eat each other quite a bit to help you out. So like you said, just clean the table there. You'll feel pretty good. We'll go to your Raiders before we go to break here. Moving on with the coaching carousel in the NFL.
I would say a B. I like it. I think he brings stability. He brings respect to the room. AP was more of a Raiders coach. Now, coach isn't necessarily he's not the rugged John Madden, John Gruden. He's not the staple Raiders coach. But he does understand how to be successful. He does scout very well. He does get the best out of his players. He was responsible for the Legion of Boom. You know what I mean? That's a whole years of experience of understanding player system schemes and whatnot. And in the AFC West, you're gonna need it. You're going against heavyweights week in and week out. Harbaugh, I understand he hasn't won a Super Bowl, but he's been to the Super Bowl. He's won a national championship. Sean Payton won a Super Bowl. He's a Hall of Fame coach. Andy Reid, Hall of Fame coach. I mean, that speaks for itself. So it's not going to be an easy conference, but you have somebody who's going to make sure that the team is together. They understand how to move. He's going to be energetic. I think he's a new shot of life to the Raiders, and it's something that that he's a little bit different from what they have been going with over these past couple of years.
Yeah, it's a good hire. I'm looking at your Raiders, man. It's worse than I thought. You guys need a coach that knows how to win now. Just going through it since 2003, the Raiders have had 1 winning season, 2 winning seasons, 2 winning seasons since 2003 is brutal. Pete Carroll, he's 11 of the seasons winning record on the 12th. The winning record. So he's got a much better resume in terms of winning records. He only had the 1 season where he wasn't above 500. Now, again, since 2003, some of those seasons you guys were right at 500, but more often than not. I mean, I think that's 3 seasons where you guys actually finished 2011, 2010, you guys were 800 or 500. Everything else losing records. This hire gets better the more I look at the history of the Raiders right now. I didn't realize it was 2 winning seasons since 2003. Who's been the best coach in that run? Did I lose you?
No, I'm thinking. I'm trying to think of when Del Rio was there. Before DC got hurt. Before he got hurt, I think they were on a magical run. You can throw Gruden in there. Gruden had them playing physical. Like, you didn't want to play the Raiders.
Well, they got fired, right? But he was on the trajectory and then got fired. Like, we don't know go through why, but yeah, like he was.
I mean, I would say it's a toss-up between one of those two because Gruden had the Raiders actually being back in conversations of talking. Did that, like, I'm not saying people were scared, but it was just like when you play him, you knew you was in for a physical game.
Yeah, that's certainly true. Because I think there was a lot of excitement around the Raiders up until obviously after that third season. And again, it was 4-12, 7-9, and then 8-8. So just continuing to like kind of climb up there. And then obviously since then, just hasn't been great at all. Just kind of going through your coaches, trying to figure out which one sticks. All right, we got a few more coaches left, but we are up to our first break here. What was your grade for Pete Carroll again?
I'll go B.
I'm with you there. I'm going to go B as well. I'm gonna even go B+. Like, those guys need to win, and they need somebody who's done it not only at the NFL level but the college level as well. I think that's actually a really good hire. There's similar to the Bears, like that's a culture problem. You almost kind of where I was leaning with a guy like McCarthy, even a guy like Vrabel, and why we'll talk about Ben Johnson about the hire. A little bit nervous because when you get to those teams that it's just been that bad for that long. I think it does take a significant amount of resume experience to figure out what the hell's going wrong in that locker room. With that being said, we'll throw out the break. We'll talk about some more NFL coaches on the other side. Don't Punt Hour with Des Moines Pierson-El.
This is Bill Mitchner, Executive Director of Lincoln Lighthouse. Did you know Lighthouse provides multiple programs for students such as one-on-one tutoring and mentoring, as well as pro-social skill exercises, while providing them a nourishing meal and a safe space during all months of the year, even during school breaks? Learn more or contribute to Lighthouse at lincolnlighthouse.org today.
Are you ready for a new opportunity? Check out Sandhills Global. Join a dynamic team where your skills are valued and your career can soar. We offer full-time positions with a 4.5-day work week, competitive pay, excellent benefits, and a positive work environment. From IT and marketing to sales and finance, we're looking for talented individuals just like you. Apply today at sandhills.jobs and take the first step towards an exciting future. That's sandhills.jobs. Don't wait, apply now.
The 56th Annual Boat Sport and Travel Show is bigger and better than ever. January 31st to February 2nd at the Sandhills Global Event Center in Lincoln. Don't miss it.
Sports Show.
Ever wish you had another light switch on the other side of the room on a dark night? How much better would you sleep at night if you had a ceiling fan in your room? The High Electric Service Department is here to make your electrical what-ifs a reality. Whether you're looking to replace some outdated light fixtures or brighten up your counters with under-cabinet lighting, High Electric can handle all types of residential electrical installations and services. Give Erica a call at 402-466-6606 or visit high-electric.com to get started.
Have you heard about Advanced Medical Imaging Surgery Center? Located at 7555 Pioneers Boulevard, Advanced Medical Imaging Surgery Center offers compassionate, patient-focused care and provides outpatient surgery services, making it possible to have non-emergency surgery and return home the same day. Advanced Medical Imaging Surgery Center specializes in cardiology, vascular radiology, orthopedics, pain management, and much, much more. Give them a call today at 402-261-1085 or online at amimaging.com.
What's better than supporting your favorite radio station and eating delicious Nebraska-made products? Smoking Gun Jerky of Nebraska wants to highlight you, the listener, on the 93.7 The Ticket Wall of Fame at the store. Stop by the store at 48th and R in Lincoln and see their huge variety of small batch gourmet jerky. Or if you're not in the area and want to try some, go to smokinggunjerky.com and enter code EARLY for 10% off your purchase. It's the ultimate low-calorie, high-protein snack at Smoking Gun Jerky of Nebraska.
Your home is your empire. Protect it with Empire Fence. Get a free instant quote with the online estimating tool at empire-fence.com. See an upfront estimate with no hidden fees. An Empire Fence can provide privacy and improve the appearance of your home. Keep kids and pets in or out of your yard. Increase security and add value to your property. Visit empire-fence.com now to view the stylish and maintenance-free possibilities for your home and get a free instant online quote. Let Empire Fence protect your empire.
Wall to Wall Wine and Spirits is your place in North Lincoln to go for all your needs in wine, spirits, and beer. They also have a large variety of cigars in their walk-in humidor, and they have a top-notch walk-in, temperature-controlled, high-end wine bar. Plus, you can enjoy free samples from their tasting book. There's only one place to go for all your needs for wine, beer, spirits, and cigars. Wall to Wall Wine and Spirits on North 27th Street in Lincoln.
What's going on, fans? This is Lexi Rodriguez, four-time All-American at Nebraska and now proud member of Omaha's newest professional team, Love Omaha Volleyball. League One Volleyball is bringing the heat this year. Don't miss your chance to see Olympians, national players, and national champions right here in Omaha from now through April. We can't wait to see you cheering us on in the stands. Visit lovboma.com to buy single match tickets to see me and Love Omaha Volleyball in action this season. Go Big Green!
When you need a new water heater, nothing beats the ProLine family of water heaters from A.O. Smith. ProLine models are built using commercial-grade components, meaning they're built to help you tackle your toughest days. No matter if you need a gas or electric model, A.O. Smith has a ProLine unit for you. A.O. Smith, innovation has a name. Call Wellman Plumbing at 402-434-2400 for a great deal on a water heater today. Again, that's 402-434-2400.
At Planet Fitness, we're declaring it. This is the year of getting stronger. And future stronger you can get started now by saving $28 or more when you join today. You in? We have all the best-in-class equipment you could ever need to keep stepping it up. And you can work out your way on your time at any convenient location near you. Most open 24 hours. So let's do this. Join Planet Fitness today and save $28 or more. Just $1 down, $15 a month. Cancel anytime. Deal ends January 31st. See Home Club for details.
Hi, it's Joel Norman, the voice of your Lincoln Stars hockey team. Tune in to 93.7 The Ticket to hear the latest on the Stars with myself, head coach Rocky Russo, and special player guests.
This is the Don't Punt Hour on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com. Powered by the Teammates Mentoring Program. Here is your host, DeMornay Pierson-El.
All right, welcome back in. Second segment, Don't Punt Out. We're going to finish up, wrap it up on the NFL coaching carousel, and then we'll transition into the NBA. Because there's interesting things going on. Some things never change, and right now that's Nikola Jokic. Something that did change in the NBA is the Rockets. So if we got time, we'll dive into that later. Coaching carousel, though, let's talk about the Jets. Aaron Glenn has not been talked about a lot. Another new face in terms of head coaching in the NFL. He's definitely got a respected pedigree. Where are you at with the Jets?
He has his hands full.
Yeah.
He has his hands full because we seen A-Rod. You know, we seen through two coaches. If he don't like you, you know, we seen how it get. Mm-hmm. Him and LaFleur, they was, you know, here and there. No. No. And it was even worse, you know, with Salah. And, you know, but you wasn't necessarily doing your part either on some things, you know what I mean?
Wasn't doing his part at all. That's the part that's worrisome. Because you are with Rodgers, who, yeah, good quarterback. Was not good last year, though. Like, I'm just being honest. It's not. I can name a bunch of quarterbacks I would take before Aaron Rodgers, just looking at last year's numbers. And I don't think it was because his offense was terrible. He's got some pieces. Yes, it's not, you know, the Ravens or the Eagles, but he got enough to do more than what they did that year. And it felt like he wasn't going to be coached by Salah no matter what.
Yeah.
Before they even started playing games.
So that's why I say, you know, Aaron is going to have his hands full. It's like, yeah, you're a player. You probably are respected by a lot of people and whatnot. You're coming back to an organization that drafted you. I feel, but I think he has good pieces on both sides of the ball to get things done. Mm-hmm. I just would like to see who else you bring in there to, you know, kind of control things on the offensive side. We know the defense is going to be fine. Like, I ain't worried about that. but I just don't know what the offense looks like, because it's like parents, kids going looking at their parents fighting. Well, Daddy said there's back and forth. It's going to be Aaron, whoever the offensive coordinator is. Well, I like it. We going and not like at some point in time, Aaron going to have to bite the bullet. Not to say that he hasn't or anything like that, but
he's dodged it a few times.
So it's a lot to deal with. Or if you move on from Aaron, who are you bringing in? If that's something that is on the table for them, or trade, or
I just wish they had Sam Darnold in their back pocket still.
No, they don't want that. You just let the mom slayer. What's his name? Wilson.
You're killing me.
I can't.
Yeah,
I can't.
Zach Wilson. Zach Wilson.
Yeah, you just had him. You know what I mean? Like, nah, they still recovering from stuff. So, I mean, you can make some moves in free agency. I think there are still some good quarterbacks out there that could be, on the move.
Yeah, this one's fun. I actually think this is a good move by the Jets, though. Feels like he's going to kind of come in there and just not really care. Like, this is his first run. I don't think he's going to let Rodgers dictate it.
I don't think either.
Especially just kind of seeing what happened like last year. Like, there's no way he's like, I'm getting my shot. I'm not letting you call the shots on this one because I want this job in the future.
They got a young quarterback. They drafted the quarterback out of Florida State last year. I know he was hurt. Again, you spent the whole year. I mean, it's Trevor Love. It can be Trevor. I mean, not Trevor. Jordan Love 2.0, and we don't even know it. They got is it, Travis. I can't remember his last name.
Who are we talking about here?
The Florida State quarterback that broke his leg that got drafted by.
Now you're killing me.
Jordan Travis, I want to say, or Travis Jordan, something like that. Well, one of the two. But he's there. He had potential up until
Jordan Travis. Okay, you were right. I don't know why that sounded wrong.
I said it. I had the names. It was one way. He's there, and before he broke his leg, he was undefeated Florida State. He was poised, and because he broke his leg, they didn't get a chance to compete for a national championship. So he is there. He is in the building, and A-Rod can act any type of way if he want to. I mean, that coach has no loyalty to you. They can run with the young guy, and let things be.
Yeah, and I wonder. It's unlikely that you get it again, but to me, there's a chance for kind of that. You get the former player, especially back to the place that he played with Glenn. A little bit of that magic with DeMeco Ryans coming in there and like dramatically changing the culture in a place that's been miserable for years.
Mm-hmm.
The Jets need that badly. Like just a breath of fresh air of someone who's just, I don't know, like attached to it back in the day enough to care about it, but detached enough from it for the past where you can come in there and just clean it out. That's kind of the hope for the Jets. That's another one of those between the Raiders, the Bears, a lot of these teams that we're talking about just kind of been cursed for, quote unquote, cursed for years now. And they're all kind of looking for the same thing, like a coach that's going to come in there and change the culture. But obviously, as we talked about the Cowboys, we haven't talked about the Panthers, but some of those teams, owners make it a little bit tough to change that culture.
Yeah.
Speaking of which, Patriots, not bad ownership, nothing wrong with them. But Mike Vrabel, we haven't talked about him yet. The Patriots landed him.
I think that you would love to have him. I think he was sought after by everybody, so I would give it an A. He speaks for himself. He's coming back to the organization that he won Super Bowls with. I mean, he had a team knock off a number one Lamar Jackson Baltimore team in Baltimore.
Mm-hmm.
And they were just, physical, and they had, a little bit above mediocre quarterback play. You had Derrick Henry and AJ Brown and a bona fide defense. So, for them to get him back there and still be, along that line of, from Belichick or whatnot, he's a great guy probably for the players. And I think, they're probably just as happy as well.
Yeah, I'd imagine if you're a player, that's a good hire.
Yeah.
The teams, and the way I usually measure that is like he's never had a team not play hard for him. So to me, that's always the sign of a decent coach. Like if the guys are playing hard despite, some, years for the Titans that are disappointing, but they always play hard. I understand they're playing for money and contracts, but there's certainly times as well where you don't necessarily kind of back half of the season. You'll see it with some guys pull back a little bit. Never see that with Mike Vrabel's teams. I'll give it a B+. I think it's just a safe and smart hire. Like there's not too many risk or concerns for me, unless your only risk is not getting that slam dunk home run hire. But even then, I think Mike Vrabel can be that. All right, let's do it. Ben Johnson, Chicago Bears. And we got another crowd out here in the ticket studio. Things are doing well.
Who's on his staff?
So they did get the former quarterback as well. They got Barrett on that roster as well. Looking at the OC, let me pull it up for all.
Who's the DC? That I think that depends on high or low it is.
Okay, let's see this one. So okay, we got Dennis Allen.
Oh, the Saints old coach.
Yep.
Okay.
And Doyle as the offensive coordinator. Doyle's. And then Richard Hightower, special teams coordinator. Dennis Allen,
I'm stuck between a B and a B+. And I say that because he's a first year head coach. You know who the organization is. But I like him. He was able to study under Campbell and to understand things. So I definitely think he knows what it looks like. He's been there to see things. It's just, it's hard to replicate and duplicate things. So he's going to put his own spin on things and whatnot. You know what I mean? So his supporting cast, they're okay. They're not out of the park type, home run. So I think I'm gonna just stick with a B, just because the first year head coach. I think he got the right pieces in the right places. They're not overly, anything crazy, but I know Allen does run a good defense. I think that will help. They already have a solid defense. Now it's just getting a guy in there on different schemes or whatnot. So
and getting an offense to help the defense out sometimes.
Yeah. So I mean, he's there calling plays. You got JT Barrett there to make it even more comfortable for Caleb Williams. I mean, they're giving Caleb stuff they didn't even give Trubisky or Justin Fields. So he's in a better situation. You just hope that you see the benefits quicker than another year or so.
Yeah, it's you really hope it's a good year for Williams, because you're right. Like the whole thing with Ben Johnson, as he's been saying through me, like he is giving the keys to Williams. He's like, we're going to do everything you need. Like we're working for you here. Do everything. Like is very players first driven and very we're getting this right for Caleb Williams, because he's very clear on the quarterback position.
I mean, he was hired for that. That's why.
Exactly. Absolutely. And then that's why you bring in Barrett as well. Like it's pretty clear to me that he's doing everything he can to get Caleb Williams right, understanding that this team's not going to go anywhere, as no team in the NFL goes anywhere if you do not figure out that quarterback, whether it's college. High school is about the only one you can get away with it. And that's depending on the division, because C2, if we really wanted to, we could run the ball every damn time. We didn't throw the ball a whole lot around Northeast Nebraska. You can get away from it there, but no, when we're talking college football, we saw it year one with the rule. You see it in the NFL all the time. You mess that up, you can early on. Like you can almost confidence in like hope is going to, at 0-2 going to keep you hanging on that they'll fix it throughout the middle of the year. Almost never happens. It's just kind of unfortunate truth about the QBs. Like when that season starts, what they look like, you might see a little bit of improvement, but you're not going to see typically a new guy by the end of the season. It's just kind of interesting. So that's the hope for the Chicago Bears. Yeah, I'm going to go to wrap this segment up here. I'm going to cautiously go B as well, just because there is a lot of new faces in there.
There's a lot of new things. Again, you're repeating same habits. What year two different head coaches, 2 different coordinators. You've done that for 3 quarterbacks straight. So that's over. What Trubisky was there for 3-4 years.
Yep, Trubisky.
And what's the name was there for 3-4 years as
Fields.
well, 5 years maybe.
Yeah, you went to risky.
You pushing close to you pushing above 7-8 years of doing the same habit that you ain't break. And the definition of insanity is doing the same thing over and over again and thinking a different result gonna happen.
Yeah, and they were so close to that Jay Cutler era when they had Love as well, and that was kind of the last like real push the Bears ever had when they're actually competitive in the NFC North. That's the other thing. We'll have to save that for another time, but I wonder what the Lions look like next year. I'm still a Dan Campbell believer. I know there's a lot of panic with
He'll reload it. He will reload it.
I agree 100%. We'll save that for another day because I'm seeing a lot of panic. Like even me being a Bears fan, I'm seeing a lot of Bears fans dunk on the Lions. I'm like, just wait, please don't.
If that OC from that just got fired from the Texans, which is crazy, if he winds up there, oh good night. It's real scary out there.
Well, it's whether surprise, and we do got through the break here. But what always surprised me the most, I'm like, yes, Ben John. We got very excited about the OCs and DCs of the Lions, rightfully so. But none of that happens without Dan Campbell, and you still have Dan Campbell. So trust him. That get more guys in there. What you see with great coaches is their coaching tree tends to be unlimited because it's them that's causing greatness within those coaches, and then it expands out. So I'm more towards the camp of great coordinators, and they're probably going to continue to do great. But Dan Campbell's really the enforcer behind that entire thing. And as long as he's there, he's going to keep pushing towards greatness. So I don't think you're going to see maybe not the same season, but you're not going to see a massive drop back. Like the Lions will be good again next year.
For sure.
We'll throw out the break though. We'll talk about the Lions on another day. We do got to wrap up with some NBA on this next segment here. Because we talked about a little bit Jokic SGA. Once again, that's kind of the MVP race. We'll talk about that next. Dumb Punt Hour. We got the morning Pierson-El. Host as always, Harrison Arns back at the Ticket Studios. Talk to you in a little bit.
Hi, my name is Molly Party. I'm a realtor with MP Dodge Real Estate. I'm a newly licensed agent and considered numerous brokerages before deciding on MP Dodge. I chose the company that gives me the most support in my new career, plus guidance and encouragement along the way. MP Dodge has a unique mentoring program for new agents. It's helped jumpstart my career and has a supportive management team and administrative staff. So if you're contemplating a career in real estate, look no further than MP Dodge. It will be the best decision you make.
Wall to Wall Wine and Spirits is your place in North Lincoln to go for all your needs in wine, spirits, and beer. They also have a large variety of cigars in their walk-in humidor, and they have a top-notch walk-in, temperature-controlled, high-end wine bar. Plus, you can enjoy free samples from their tasting bar. There's only one place to go for all your needs for wine, beer, spirits, and cigars. Wall to Wall Wine and Spirits on North 27th Street in Lincoln.
When you need a new water heater, nothing beats the ProLine family of water heaters from A.O. Smith. ProLine models are built using commercial-grade components, meaning they're built to help you tackle your toughest days. No matter if you need a gas or electric model, A.O. Smith has a ProLine unit for you. A.O. Smith, innovation has a name. Call Wellman Plumbing at 402-434-2400 for a great deal on a water heater today. Again, that's 402-434-2400.
Wrestling fans, it's time to elevate your game, just like Stevens & Smith Construction does for your concrete needs. As your full-service concrete contractor, we deliver solid results every time. From singles to doubles, fighting for inside position to scrambling reversals, we know how to pin down quality and slam expectations. Stevens & Smith Construction, a proud sponsor of Takedown Tuesdays on 93.7 The Ticket, where Husker wrestlers bring you all the action. Don't stall. Stevens & Smith Construction is here to help you build a concrete foundation for the win. Check us out at www.stevensandsmith.com because stalling is a penalty and winning is the only option.
Outside is where winter adventure unfolds. On frozen lakes, icy landscapes, and snow-covered slopes, feeling the cold air rush by as you race downhill. The freedom of gliding with ease and the warmth of being together. From epic sled rides to the fun of ice fishing, it's all right here beneath Nebraska skies. Start your winter adventure at yournebraskaparks.com. Sponsored by Nebraska Game and Parks, aired with the Nebraska Broadcasters Associations and this station.
Ever wish you had another light switch on the other side of the room on a dark night? How much better would you sleep at night if you had a ceiling fan in your room? The High Electric Service Department is here to make your electrical what-ifs a reality. Whether you're looking to replace some outdated light fixtures or brighten up your counters with under-cabinet lighting, High Electric can handle all types of residential electrical installations and services. Give Erica a call at 402-466-6606 or visit high-electric.com to get started.
Outside is where winter adventure unfolds. On frozen lakes, icy landscapes, and snow-covered slopes, feeling the cold air rush by as you race downhill. The freedom of gliding with ease and the warmth of being together. From epic sled rides to the fun of ice fishing, it's all right here beneath Nebraska skies. Start your winter adventure at yournebraskaparks.com. Sponsored by Nebraska Game and Parks, aired with the Nebraska Broadcasters Associations and this station.
Rashawn Jackson here for Bauer Underground, who has been serving local contractors and utility contractors all across the state since 1997. When you see the black and white trucks, you know the baddest dudes in the business have arrived. Bauer is currently looking for equipment operators, laborers, diesel mechanics, and aerial linemen. Join the brotherhood built on hard work, authentic people, and pedigree of success. Bauer, a family-friendly company who reminds you, go Big Red!
What's better than supporting your favorite radio station and eating delicious Nebraska-made products? Smoking Gun Jerky of Nebraska wants to highlight you, the listener, on the 93.7 The Ticket Wall of Fame at the store. Stop by the store at 48th and R in Lincoln and see their huge variety of small batch gourmet jerky. Or if you're not in the area and want to try some, go to smokinggunjerky.com and enter code EARLY for 10% off your purchase. It's the ultimate low-calorie, high-protein snack at Smoking Gun Jerky of Nebraska.
Early break.
Joe says, Kevin says, the old days were absolutely not better times. Lots of hardships. Life in 2025 is better than ever.
Oh, I love when we get these jokes back. I love
Good
them.
joke, good
I love
one.
the joke. You're good one.
Good one, Kevin.
You're hilarious, Kevin. You keep it up.
Early break from 6 to 8 every weekday morning on 93.7 The Ticket. This is the Don't Punt Hour on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com. Powered by the Teammates Mentoring Program. Here is your host, DeMornay Pierson-El.
All right, welcome back in. Final segment. I'm going to wrap things up with some NBA talk here because we're getting into the season pretty deep here. Also I'm blanking on it right now. Shout out McGowan's Rising Stars game. I could not remember what the name of the game was called. He got selected to the Rising Stars game, playing a phenomenal season with the Trailblazers. Obviously, the former Husker. Want to shout him out as well as a pretty great selection to get. Hopefully, you can get into that all-star selection next. But nonetheless, hell of a start for McGowan's in his NBA career as it continues to get better. But let's switch over to the NBA. I'm not sure where you're on this. We got SGA or Nikola Jokic. Looking at those two guys, which one gets the MVP?
I mean, we seen Jokic enough. Like, I want SGA to get one. It's the kind of the Lamar thing. I don't care. Like, I understand what he does. But SGA game, what he doing right now is just, and what he has done and whatnot. He's becoming, a superstar and potentially, can slide into, a young star, a young face of the league type of guy.
I'll be honest. If he played for the Lakers, he is the young face of the league. He plays in OKC.
KD was in OKC and he was up there with LeBron.
Yeah, but
so it can happen. I don't want to hear it. It can happen.
It can happen, but there was I don't know why. I can't tell you, and there is something to this. Even though the OKC is winning, the way they're winning is through a very deep, balanced, overall great roster. When they're winning with Kevin Durant, James Harden, and the freakiest athlete we've seen in years with Russell Westbrook, that was different. Despite that, the records still weren't as good as what today's OKC Thunder is doing. But I mean, Russ alone was drawing so many eyes. Then you tie those three coming up at the same time is kind of what made that just unreal.
So you're saying it's not exciting. You want the bad guy versus the good guy. Got you.
No, I still think it's exciting.
No, that's not what you're saying.
Not as exciting. Come on. Kevin is as great as SGA is. It's also just kind of that era was a lot more fun. It's also the era I grew up watching. That's when Blake Griffin. That's when the Clippers were relevant. That's when all that stuff felt like there was a real I don't want to say this. There's still an edge to a lot of the teams out there where you generally felt like those still in the era of guys don't necessarily like each other.
Yeah.
And that added to a lot of the fuel of the fire. You saw that specific OKC team get into a few scraps, nothing crazy.
When do you think that changed in the NBA? Like what year or what event would you say that was like, then everything kind of like, okay, cooled out?
I don't know if there's the exact point, and it just kind of been gradual. Unless you have an exact moment in your head.
I think when KD went to the super team.
That's when.
I think so, because everybody's like, all right, well, if he can do it, if he can put that, that pride to a side, why can't I go get a ring? That's what I just think it happened. People start thinking outside the box to compete.
That's probably that's a good marker, because you could say, well, LeBron did it. Not really. LeBron didn't lose to the Cavs in Game 7 and then go join the Cavs the next year, or go lose to the Heat in Game 7 and then go play for Miami Heat and leaving the Cavs. Like,
I'm not saying what LeBron did is okay, and I'm justifying it.
But it's different.
I'm not saying that at all. But I mean, he was on a other, like, they went and did that and claim to be this and this and that when you got literally probably 4 Hall of Famers as your starting 5.
Yeah, that OKC blow up was not even just the blood, like just some way some of those players wanted out.
Lob City wasn't even like that.
No.
The other biggest matchup was Dwayne Wade and LeBron and Chris Bosh. Like, I mean, that was it. You've seen duos and everything like that, but I mean that you haven't seen that level of stuff. Kawhi took the Raptors to a championship with less than that.
And I am happy Kawhi Leonard got that ring.
Yeah.
With that team. That is, to me, still one of the most incredible runs we've ever seen from an individual player. I mean, it really is. Like, you look at that team top to bottom. Yes, they had some players that were good. That was kind of the start of Pascal Siakam kind of catching his, not necessarily superstar, but an all-star. You can kind of put him in that category below. But really, that was the crazy Kawhi Leonard bounce off the rim 5 times over Joel Embiid buzzer beater in a Game 7. The first time we've ever seen an actual Game 7 buzzer beater like that. So it was phenomenal. Real quick, though, I'm going to say Jokic is still the MVP.
Oh, my God.
What he does, it's like I have to read.
It's just exciting to you. I understand.
It's not exciting.
That's your opinion.
It's not an opinion. This is like I've never understood the push away from Jokic. We are looking at a guy that is already like clear-headed, going to be one of the best 25 players to ever play the game. His numbers are just unreal, and it doesn't ever stop. He's got the high. If you want to go advanced analytics, he's dominating. If you want to go just the basic points, he's dominating. It's unreal. So it's always fun. Let's just give the shooting splits again here, because it just never changes. So this year alone, and we'll talk. SGA is doing good as well. I'll throw his out there first. So let's go SGA, because he is still having a good season, but I want to compare him. So SGA, he's playing 32 points a game, shooting 52%, great field goal percentage, 35% from 3. He's getting 5 rebounds, 6 assists, 2 steals, and a block. That's a great season. That's MVP caliber stuff. All right, let's talk about Jokic. He is currently averaging 30 points, shooting 57% from the floor. So he's shooting at a higher, but he's the center. Okay. But he's also taking a lot of threes, and he's shooting 48% from the 3-point line still. And it's not like he's barely taking it. He's taking usually 3-4 a game, rebounds, 13 rebounds, assists 10, and 2 steals, and just short of a block. So the guy's averaging a triple double.
Hey, yeah, he's an animal. I can't even lie.
Dude.
I'm not mad at it. I'm not.
57-47 shooting split, and we didn't have his free throws. I want to get his free throws real quick. His free throws are up there as well. It's like high 89 or just at 90.
A bucket. He's a bucket. It doesn't matter.
Yeah, it's incredible.
I get it.
All right. Now that you get it, we can wrap up the show. Jokic is the best player. It's not even close right now. The guy's unreal. And like I said, that's why I always kind of pick the Nuggets as one of the favorites to make a run for it. But I will say this actually might be the year for OKC. Even if SGA doesn't win that MVP, that team is deep and it's loaded. We didn't have time to talk about the Rockets. We'll do that another day. That's another team in the NBA coming out of nowhere. All right, good morning, Pierson-El. Wrapping up the show. We got Women's Sports Weekly up next. with Sarah. She'll be joining you for that hour. Appreciate the time as always. We'll do it again tomorrow.